Good evening. Welcome back to my late night spook show, Chiller Theater, Shockathon, Scarorama, in Screamo-Vision, here on the Horror and Metal channel. I'm Lord Hellhound, and this is Loathsome Lore 51. Yeah, we're going to look at some more recent purchases. Before we get started, I just want to mention that I reread this excellent Superman Batman Volume 1 omnibus recently, again for like probably either the fourth or fifth time. Yeah, I've read it a few times. Such a good read. I love Jeff Loeb. He's a great comic book writer. He's right up there with Frank Miller and and Jeff Johns and even Stan Lee, of course. He's just up there with the best of them. Denny O'Neil. Yeah, he, of course, did Batman The Long Halloween, Batman Hush, Batman Dark Victory, Batman Haunted Night, Superman for All Seasons, and, of course, the Superman Batman storyline that started in 2003, I believe it was. It's basically like a remake of the old World's Finest comics, which often had Batman and Superman teamed up. But yeah, really good story. It collects Superman Batman issues 1 through 13. There's like 3 different stories. 2 of them are 6 issues long. One of them's only 1 issue. The first story is, Lex Luthor is president, and and there's a huge fragment of Krypton, Superman's home planet, a huge irradiated meteorite composed of, pieces of Krypton fragments headed towards Earth, and Luthor is trying to stop it, but he has his own diabolical agenda in mind. Of course, he wants to destroy Superman too, and Superman and Batman team up just trying to figure out how to stop the meteorite, and all kinds of other superheroes and supervillains are show up, and they're all utilized very, very well. Yeah, really great story. It's just awesome. Yeah, Lex Luthor as president. It's a really interesting idea. We really see a lot of Batman and Superman using their, their abilities to their fullest. And like I said, lots of other heroes and villains show up. And then the second story is just 1 issue long. It's basically just Superman and Batman meeting with this kid, this prodigy. He's like a 13-year-old genius. He had an appearance in the first 6 issues as well, the first storyline. Which was adapted as Superman Batman Public Enemies, the animated movie. He showed up. They're trying to recruit him to be Batman's new tech guy, like make him some more highly advanced technological gadgets and weaponry and Batmobiles and stuff. And I think that Superboy and Tim Drake Robin, who are kind of the main characters in this issue, want to recruit him to be the Teen Titans, I guess. And then the last 6 issues are basically Supergirl, Superman's cousin Kara Zor-El, shows up from the fragment of Krypton, and Batman doesn't trust her. He thinks it might be a trick, and Superman feels great because he's not alone anymore. There's another member of his Kryptonian race other than his dog Krypto. And Darkseid wants to use Supergirl for his own deadly agenda. Yeah, really, really great stuff. Wonder Woman shows up. They spend a lot of time with the Amazons on Themyscira. Really, really great read. I can't recommend it enough. Sorry, I spent 3 minutes talking about that. I've been wanting to review this, and so I guess I just gave it a little miniature review. But anyway, highly recommended. Great read. Check it out. Yeah, like I said, Jeff Loeb's a great writer. And there's a lot of great artwork as well by Ed McGuinness and Michael Turner and Pat Lee. So, yeah, it's just awesome. Superman, Batman. Anyway, let's get to my recent purchases. So, my last Loathsome Lore video, I mentioned that I got Headless Cross by Black Sabbath, which was the second album to feature vocalist Tony Martin, one of those underrated singers in metal, and that his whole era with Black Sabbath is very underrated, very overlooked. But for people who actually do give the Tony Martin era a chance and don't just limit themselves to just the Ozzy era, those people are missing out. People who actually do give Tony Martin a chance, most people like Headless Cross the best. That's their favorite Tony Martin Sabbath album. Mine's actually the very first album he did with Sabbath, The Eternal Idol, which I finally got on vinyl here. I already had it on CD. But yeah, now I have this on vinyl. So the only 2 Tony Martin albums I have by Black Sabbath on vinyl are this and Headless Cross. I have them all on CD, but yeah. But this is my favorite. Yeah, everybody likes Headless Cross the best. It's probably my second favorite. I think this one's even better. I think a lot of people complain because it was originally recorded with a different vocalist, Ray Gillen, and a lot of members were in and out. And there's a very they had a lot of production issues and like very contrived lineup and personnel changes. But so Tony Martin had to kind of mimic Ray Gillen's vocals. But I think he does a hell of a job. This is my favorite Tony Martin album. by Black Sabbath. It's got The Shining, my favorite Tony Martin era song, Ancient Warrior, Glory Ride. Those are three awesome, awesome songs. Some of the best in Black Sabbath history. Yeah, phenomenal album. Yeah, Tony Martin's voice is just incredible. He's just a powerful voice. His vibrato is incredible. He can sing the Ozzy era songs. He can sing the Dio era songs. Amazing vocalist. Probably the most underrated ever. He's easily in my top 10. For sure. My Mount Rushmore of metal vocalists is Rob Halford, Ronnie James Dio, Bruce Dickinson, sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied, and Jeff Tate. And then I think King Diamond's probably my 5th favorite. Tony Martin might be my 6th favorite. But really, I just like them all pretty much equally when it comes down to it. But yeah, fantastic album. One of Sabbath's best. And like I said, my favorite with Tony Martin. It's freaking killer. All right. Now, I also got Super Friends, a complete collection. This includes all incarnations of the Super Friends. There's 7 different incarnations. You know, there's the original Super Friends from 73. Then there's the all-new Super Friends Hour. Challenge of the Super Friends was probably my favorite because it has the Legion of Doom, you know, Lex Luthor and the team of supervillains. That's when we really saw a lot of the supervillains from the comics, you know. They created a lot of new heroes, too, you know, like Apache Chief and Black Vulcan and you know, several of those. The Wonder Twins, you know, Wonder Dog, you know, all them. Then, of course, you know, World's Greatest Super Friends, Super Friends, a Legendary Superpowers Show, and Superpowers Team Galactic Guardians, and, of course, the 78 version of Super Friends and the 1980 through 1983 version. So, yeah, it's all the Super Friends cartoons. I'm not a huge fan of the way they, this package is. Yeah, a lot of discs are on top of each other, but it's fine. It works. You know, I guess it's kind of the only way they could do it. At least they're not just all on top of each other in those sleeves like some DVD box sets. So I already had Challenge of the Super Friends, which, like I said, is my favorite. Legendary Superpowers Show and Galactic Guardians Superpowers Team. I think this is the first one to feature Cyborg. They never had Martian Manhunter or DC's Captain Marvel, now known as Shazam, in any of the Super Friends cartoons. So yeah, I already had these, but yeah, now I got the complete collection. And upon rewatching it, I found it's just a little too dark and gritty for me. It's just a little too serious and grounded and realistic. You know, I'm just kidding. No, of course not. It's very, very campy, very comedic, very silly, but very enjoyable and very nostalgic for me. It's nowhere near as good as something like, you know, say the Justice League cartoon from the early 2000s. That is the definitive version of Justice League to me, the definitive adaptation, probably the best adaptation ever, featuring all the DC superheroes teamed up. But Super Friends is great too. Yeah, it's you know, it has a special place in my heart. Very nostalgic. I grew up watching these cartoons. They're very, very fun and very, you know, very enjoyable. You know. Anyway, okay, so now let's get to comics. I got quite a bit of comics recently. Yeah, Eternal Idol by Sabbath is the only vinyl record that I got since my last Loathsome Lore video. And yeah, I guess Super Friends is the only DVD I got lately. I really want to get the new Superman movie and the new Fantastic Four once they come out on Blu-ray, but that's going to be a little bit. But yeah, so check out my first impressions video for both of those if you're interested. Anyway, comics. Yeah, so I got Action Comics issue 339. Yeah, you know, where Superman, you know, Action Comics is where Superman started. Of course, Action Comics 1. You know, first appearance of Superman, the first superhero comic. Yeah, Action Comics 339 with Brainiac and Supergirl, and of course Superman. Yeah, really cool. This is one of the earliest issues I have. I think the earliest one I have is 200 something, 240 something maybe. But yeah, so yeah, one of the earliest issues. Also got Action Comics 614, which is much later. This one features Green Lantern. Yeah, the Hal Jordan Green Lantern, my favorite member of the Green Lantern Corps, of course. Intergalactic Space Force, you know, the interstellar police that protects the galaxy. Yeah, Hal Jordan's my favorite. So pretty cool to see him starring in an Action Comics comic. I was going to get some adventure comics too. My friend who owns the comic book store that I used to work for is actually holding them for me. So I'm going to get those when I get paid next month. Yeah, so I just want to save money. But also got this Batman issue 375 with Mr. Freeze. Yeah, it looks like Batman accidentally froze Robin. Kind of reminds me of Batman and Robin a little bit. But yeah, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, pretty cool. This is the only Batman comic I've got it in a while. So, yeah. Always good to have me some Batman. He's my favorite superhero after all. But the absolute best things I got, the creme de la creme, which I'm very excited about, is Aquaman issue 29, the first appearance of Ocean Master, or Marius, one of Aquaman's arch enemies. Now, when Marius, Ocean Master, is first introduced, he was still Aquaman's half-brother, but he was completely human. He was the son of Thomas Curry, the lighthouse keeper, and some human woman. Then, of course, when they changed it, like after the post-crisis, they made it to where he was half Atlantean, and now I think he was the son of Atlanta and a human man, maybe. But then they retconned it again with New 52 and all that. They made it to where he's just full-blooded Atlantean, but still Aquaman's half-brother on his mother's side. They're both the sons of Atlanta, who's an Atlantean who lives, in the ocean, in the city of Atlantis, the undersea Seatopia, and Aquaman's still the son of lighthouse keeper Thomas Curry, and but Maris is full-blooded Atlantean. His father's Atlantean, too. So he's a full-blooded Atlantean. Aquaman's only half, but they still have brothers. So, yeah, they've changed the character a lot. But this is his first appearance, and, there's Aqualad. Yeah, pretty cool. I have the very first appearance of Ocean Master. Very, very excited. And I also got Aquaman issue 35, the first appearance of Black Manta, Aquaman's arch nemesis. Very, very happy to have this. Black Manta is one of my favorite DC villains. Very, very happy to have this. Also, yeah, like I showed in one of my past Loathsome and Lore videos, I got the Flash issue 139, very first Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, Professor Zoom. So the first Reverse Flash, and the first Black Manta, and first Ocean Master. Really cool. I've got a lot of Superman first appearances, too. The first Parasite, first Metallo, first Bizarro. But, yeah, very happy to have the first Ocean Master and first Black Manta. Hell yeah. I think this is the third appearance of Ocean Master, or maybe the second. Yeah, Ocean Master and Black Manta, Aquaman's two best supervillains, are in this one. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, very happy to have these. First Ocean Master, first Black Manta. Yeah, very cool. As for Marvel, I got the Incredible Hulk issue 200. Really surprised I didn't already have this one. I have a lot of Hulk. I have a lot of Hulk first appearances, too. I've got the first Leader, first Abomination, first Zax, first Doc Samson. Huge Hulk fan. Issue 200. Sorry, getting tongue-tied. Yeah, all kinds of characters on the cover. Yeah, we got the Leader and Doc Samson, the Abomination, the Rhino. Looks like Silver Surfer, Captain America. Yeah, Elizabeth Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, Submariner, Iron Man, Thor. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, The Thing. Yeah, all the Fantastic Four. Looks like Rick Jones, the Mandarin, Juggernaut. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I actually haven't read this yet. I might read it later today after this video. So yeah, Incredible Hulk 200. Pretty cool. Also got the Mighty Thor issue 462. Yeah, really happy to add this to my Thor collection. Love me some Thor. He's in my top 5 favorite Marvel superheroes, along with Spider-Man, the Hulk, Wolverine, and maybe Iron Man. Yeah, the Thor is probably my 4th favorite after Spidey, Hulk, and Wolverine. Yeah, love me some Thor, the God of Thunder. Also got a Silver Surfer Volume 3 Issue 1. I really want to get that one-shot, Volume 2 Issue 1, which is just a one issue thing. But yeah, here's Volume 3, Issue 1, and Volume 3, Annual 1. Yeah, pretty cool. I think that, it's also guest starring the Fantastic Four back when She-Hulk was part of the group, replacing Johnny Storm, a.k.a. Human Torch. I think that's Nova, who was Human Torch's girlfriend for a while. Pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure that's Nova. Yeah, and then, Silver Surfer, Volume 3, Annual 1. Looks like he's finding the Super Skrulls. Super Skrulls, sorry. Pretty cool. That's it for comics. Last but not least, I also got this Loki action figure. And yes, I do take action figures out of their packaging. If I keep them in their packaging, I get zero enjoyment out of them. I wanted to put them on display with the others. I don't even have enough room to keep all the packages and have them on display somewhere. I don't have room for all that. Yeah, it's boring. I don't like keeping the package. I do have several figures that are still in their packages, I know, which, just collector's items. But yeah, everybody says, oh, they lose their value. I don't care. I get zero enjoyment out of them if I keep them in their packages. That's just boring. This package, it only comes with an interchangeable head. Yeah, pretty cool. Loki. Yeah, Thor's adopted brother and arch enemy. I already had a Loki action figure. but it's the version from the movies, the MCU. Yeah, the Tom Hiddleston portrayal, seen in, Thor and the Avengers and, well, pretty much, well, most of the first three Thor movies and the Avengers and a couple others. His own TV show and everything. Yeah, this is the MCU version, and it's a great figure, and I love the MCU. I love those movies, but, in my opinion, it's cooler to have the comic book version, As much as I love the movies, gotta have the comic edition of the characters. So, yeah, pretty cool figure. Yeah, Loki. One of my favorite Marvel supervillains. Yeah. So, yeah, just thought I'd get him to replace this one, because this is the one from the movies. Rather have the comic one. And his helmet will not stay on. But, yeah, it's a pretty cool figure as well. I'll probably give it to my daughter. I gave her, like, a lot of my figures that I don't have on display, so I'll probably give her that one, too. All right, so anyway, I think that's it. I believe that's all the recent purchases. Trying to think if there's anything else I should mention in this video. I still haven't seen Final Destination Bloodlines, but I really want to. I love the Final Destination series. It's one of my favorite, like, more modern horror franchises, even though it's been around for, over 2 decades. So yeah, I really want to see Final Destination Bloodlines. The trailer looked good. I've heard really good things about it, and I really love those movies, so I want to check it out. I haven't seen the new I Know What You Did Last Summer yet either, which stupidly just has the same title as the first one. Oh, I hate when they do that. They do that all the time now. It's so unimaginative. I hate when they do that. Give it a damn title. I always thought H2O was a stupid title. Well, at least it's a title. At least they didn't just give the same title as the first movie, like Halloween 2018 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 and The Thing 2011. That was a prequel. Don't give a sequel the same title. A remake's one thing, but don't give the sequel the same title as the original. It's just lazy and uninspired and just really irritating. Because now we have to say, Halloween 1978, Halloween 2007, or Halloween 2018. It's so tedious and cumbersome. It just gets old after a while. Okay, enough ranting. Yeah, I know. First world problems, right? Anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, so those are my most of my recent purchases. If you got anything cool lately, let me know in the comments below. If I think of anything else that I wanted to mention, I'll leave it in the description. I was always thank you for watching my late night spook show here on the Horror and Metal channel. I'm Lord Hellhound, and this has been Loathsome Lore 51. Until next time, later.